Maybe that worked. I don't know if that worked. Maybe. I'm trying to figure out this whole Twitch and YouTube deal. Um, don't know if it worked. Maybe it did. Um, trying to find what did I do with. Where did my download go? That's not it. That's not it. There it is. Hangout. Trying to rename it and stuff because I don't know if this is working. Is it on Twitch? Hey, Twitch is there. Cool. Twitch is there. YouTube is there. I have to figure out how to read both chats at the same time because I didn't do a whole lot of research into figuring this out, honestly. So we're gonna get there, guys. We're gonna get there. Give me a second here. Okay, save that. And then I need to, I guess I got my Twitch chat there. I can have YouTube chat there. Cool. Anyways, hello everybody. I'm hoping this is working. I'm hoping you're hearing me. Hello, welcome to the first ever dual stream of my, that's fine, of my YouTube here. So this is my normal weekend hangout. I wanted to do last week, but last week turned into absolute work craziness. My camera's even crooked. Let me fix this here. Yeah. Got super busy at work, ended up working the entire weekend. And I mean, the one day was like 19 hours. So did not have any time to do any type of YouTubing or even making around the shop. This weekend, yesterday was the Marine Corps Ball. That was fun. So happy birthday, Marines. If any of you are watching, happy birthday, Marines. And that was a lot of fun. So Mrs. I got to go out and have a fun night. And now I am back to other things. This weekend was a lot of me and my oldest. We built the Jazz Club Lego set, which was a lot of fun. And then I've been working on this other one that I did a couple weeks ago, and I was just really just kind of hanging around the house because last weekend was just so crazy with work. I wanted to have some time off and just hang out with the family. I was still busy doing tons of other things just because that's what it's like when you have kids. But it was still good to have some time with her because I don't get to spend a lot of time with her just building something. Ended up taking a day off last week, and that was great. Ended up building a table, my goodness, I can't even talk tonight, I'm still tired. A table for the Lego room, which was fun. Had a crate, decided to repurpose it into a table, and that worked out well. The other thing was, how do I see, oh, there's one viewer on Twitch, okay. I need to try and figure out how to make these. You go there, and YouTube go there. There we go. I can see both now. Yeah, it was good just to make something. Literally had no plans. Just cut the box, cut the crate down, made a table. Easy day. Sanded it, polyurethaned it, and that was done. But what I did do is I did do some printing over the last week, and I printed this little guy, little boat, and so this was, Aaron had posted a toy site where you could print, or they have various toys, trains, planes, automobiles, and boats. They have track for their own train. It looks to be like the Lego Duplo scale is what it looks like. So not quite the L gauge, the Lego gauge for the standard small Legos, I guess, Lego. But anyways, I saw this boat on there and it said that it floated. I was like, oh, I think my son Luke would really like that. And so I printed it, and it was all done on, right here, you can't see it, but this is my Volrun V0.2, and it was all printed in ABS on that, and couldn't smell a thing, which was great. The This is Ziltech ABS, which is pretty low odor as it is, but with the enclosure on this thing, literally couldn't smell it was sitting right next to me. So that was really great. And it printed pretty fine. I printed them a little fast because I wanted to get them done and just kind of move on with things. And oh, so cool. My daughter sent it to my mom, the Lego build. Yeah, that was good fun. It was fun. But yeah, and I didn't have like the brass tubes to go in this to make the propeller spin or to make the rudder work. It's not motorized or anything like that. You probably could if you put a little motor in there, but you'd have to seal it. It's also not waterproof or not watertight at all. There was little clips for the bottom, and if you can tell, there's just some hot glue in there now because those little clips did not work at all. So I think I'm going to do is the back is now watertight because I've hot glued in there. I'm going to just throw a bead of super glue down this, or maybe I'll just take the whole top off and just hot glue in the bottom just to seal up the holes so that it will kind of float. And then it needs a little bit of weight in the front. They said it might on the page, but yeah. Ole, how you doing? Greetings from Denmark. Hello to you in Denmark. And there's supposed to be in the video, it has a little like crate that goes there, like put things in, but it wasn't in the STLs, so I'm not sure. Overall, it wasn't a bad build. It's held in with a bunch of M2.5 6 mil screws. I had 10 mil. They work just fine. 6 is better, but 10s work. And it's just what I had on hand because I wanted just to do this. Again, little project with him. Luke and I did a little video on it, so that'll be out whenever I decide to edit it. So no promises on when that's going to happen. But yeah, it was not a bad little build. And it was something that he could help me with. We did a video on it, but it's got little life preservers that go on there and little hooks for them. So overall, it was a very interesting little build to do. So this took each piece, so like the hull, there's 3 hull pieces there, and like this was a separate piece, and then obviously all the different colors you're seeing are all different one. The only one I printed in one go was this center piece here with the box. I just did a change at Z. So once it finished doing the decking in black, I switched to red, just to do that all in one go, make it a different color, add a little bit of differentness to it. The hinges are all just a piece of filament, so it's just a piece of ABS shoved in there, snipped off at the ends, and the door broke because it was so tiny. So we decided to take that one off. But overall, not a bad little thing, little project to do with your kid. It's definitely not the greatest quality for model, but I mean, again, it was just something for fun. I figured why not? I haven't printed much lately, and I wanted kind of an easy win for this week, just something that I could just throw in the printer and let it go. It did great, but I am noticing I'm gonna have to take apart the V0. So we could talk about that now. I am noticing that the X beam is coming loose because I didn't quite install that 100% correctly. So I need to figure out how to easily take that off without causing a ton of work for me, and then reprint the the nut holder in there to be able to hold in the nuts so I can tighten them all down. I also need to get better quality bolts for that because they are definitely not great quality at all. So I'm gonna order some M2.5 by, I believe those are 6s or 10s. I'll have to look back at the BOM for the Voron and see what it is. Let's throw that there for now. But yeah, I'm just a little bit not happy with how that is going. I'll show it to you guys down here. I'm gonna go for a ride here. So here is the B0.2, and again, it is this. Like it's got a little bit of wiggle room just in the carriage itself, which is fine, but a few parts on this, you'll notice this center part looks great, and then this part looks not so great. It's rough. And that is because while printing, this came loose and then was end up like pushing down on it, which wasn't great. So all of these need to be replaced with better quality bolts. And then I need to figure out how to get this off easily. And I frankly don't know, because the sides of the carriage here are underneath this piece of 1515. And I literally have no idea how I'm going to get that thing off. Like, literally none. So I might try to find some YouTube videos of people who have done it and see if I get any ideas from, or if anybody of you have a Voron a V0 or 0.1 or 0.2, whatever. They're all the same on the carriage at least. What is the best and easiest way to get this off, or get this bar out without entirely disassembling the printer? I just really don't know, because I have to see how. I think these are just held in by the end on each side. So if these are only screwed in from there, I can take out the 2 bolts here and then just pull that out on each side. And that might be the least destructive, because I don't remember how this is connected at all. I really don't. I would love to not take apart these motor, the AB motor deals. Would really love for that not to happen. But such is life. I need to also just like get myself motivated to do that, because that is going to be a large disassembly. It was enough for me just to take this apart and put all new fans in, which are performing great so far. I've printed a little bit of PLA after that, but been mostly ABS. And they do come on a little bit for ABS just to help with bridging and things like that. But overall, it's been fine. And then I have here on the back, I have the accelerometer. I have still yet to do input shaper on this machine. So yeah, that's kind of my current dilemma on that. And I have to say real quick, I am shocked at how short the delay is on Twitch compared to YouTube. I mean, YouTube is a while delay, like a while delay. And Twitch is, if I do that, maybe 5, maybe 6 seconds. It's crazy. Like, YouTube is literally, I still have the top of this open in the video. I haven't even closed it yet. Like, that's how far behind the YouTube stream is. That's just insane. I never really noticed that before. Again, I'm not a very big Twitch streamer. But somebody said I should diversify and work on that, and that is what I am doing today. There, finally, I just closed it in YouTube. That's insane. Oh, sorry, need a drink there. So what else is on the docket lately? I'm 3D printing. I might model it tonight just to do a little bit of modeling. I modeled the other day, and I don't know if we had power outage, but I lost it. So there's this little tiny piece. It's super tiny. It goes to this solar car that my son got. And I'm trying to find something better than 3D printing this part, but I can't think of it. And it is the connector. So you just put a little can in there. You don't need to put anything, but the can just gives it weight. It's a little connector that fits into there and then goes over this knob and holds that like that, so that you can then position the little solar panel, because it's a little solar powered motor, to work. I can't think of a better material, or I can't think of how to create something with material with machines that I don't have. Like, this would be great to like lathe this out, you know, or laser cut something better, but I can't think of anything to laser cut or material that I have to be able to laser cut to make this work. So if you are a parent, and especially if you are a maker parent, you will know what it is like to constantly have your children coming up to you with broken things and saying, "Daddy, Mommy, please fix this." Happens all the time. So I normally have a graveyard of things on my desk, or on my desk. I normally have a graveyard of things either on my desk or over on my workbench of things that they need me to fix. And Aaron's like, yep, it's a fact for him too. You know, like it's just, you know, I love being able to fix my kids' toys because then they last longer. I really do enjoy that because then I don't have to buy something new every time something breaks. I'm like, oh yeah, just give it to me. I'll fix it. So I need to figure this out. Again, I don't know if I'm going to try and redesign it tonight or not. Let me just, that was my brother calling. Let me text him real quick and just let him know, hey, I am on a live stream. That'll be in about 45 minutes. Also, when you're the techie of the family, you have to help people out. My dad got a new laptop, so I need to set up TeamViewer and stuff on it. But I am, 6,000 miles away from the family, so my brother is being my smart hands, and I just need to call him and get that done. But yeah, blessing and a curse when it comes to fixing things. I'm glad to have the skills to do it most of the time. It does take some practice. Let's say that. It does take some practice to figure out what works. I'm trying to think if I 3D printed anything else recently. I need to finish the chest. I really want to get that done. So I might queue that up here this week. I need to get the lock internals printed and test fit before I start painting. And I really want to try out the new nozzle I got for the airbrush because I haven't tried it. It's a larger nozzle. It's a 0.5, and I usually use a 0.35. So it's just being a larger nozzle will make it easier to spray some of the paints that I have because like the aluminum one I have requires a minimum of a 0.5. So what in the heck is this? Aaron, are you on Twitch? Because I would love to make you a mod over there. I don't know. I don't know why you like kill somebody off. All right, well, I just timed out a spam message. You're on Twitch. Are you viewing me on Twitch? Can you just say something? Yeah, I'm streaming on both, but I would like to figure out how to make you a mod over there. So in case if I can't handle something, I can ask you to. It's Fugatech 3D printing, Fuginator. I see there's a couple of viewers. Oh. No, it just goes away. You can't see who your viewers are, which I guess is fine. That's kind of how it goes. Mod icons. Do that. Yeah. Let me know if you find it. There you are. There you are. There you are. All right. So how do I click on that? Mod. There we go. Now you're moderated. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, so it's a couple things. I haven't really had any to 3D print to fix anything lately, which has been shocking. I mean, yes, this little piece I'm going to be doing, but overall, cool. Thank you, Aaron. Overall, I don't, nothing's broken, which is like shocker, absolute shocker. There's always something that someone's breaking that I need a 3D print for, or we need a shelf bracket or something somewhere we need. It has just really been none of that. Even for work, I haven't had to do anything much lately. You should always find something broken there, and I'm like, I'll just fix it. It's easier that way most of the time. Which again, I want to get that printed. Was there anything else there? No, I think that's really it. Trying to figure out, we talked kind of last time, 2 weeks ago, on just like what to do about the printers, because I need to get rid of some. I need to sell some off, because I can't take all of them with me. I just can't do that. It's too many printers to take with me. So I have to figure out how to sell them off, but they all run Clipper, so it's different now. I had a guy at work, and he was asking me about it. He's debating on getting into 3D printing, and he was like, "Well, what's Clipper?" So I was like explaining to him what Clipper is, and Clipper's a firmware. For anybody watching it doesn't know that, it's a firmware that runs your printer. So like you have a firmware on your phone, you have a firmware on your everything runs off of a firmware that give it its core functionality, basically how it works. And you can modify that firmware with your 3D printer on different operating systems, basically, to try and generalize the best I can. It's Windows versus Mac versus Linux, where it's Marlin versus RepRap versus RepRap versus Clipper versus I guess RepRap, that's Duet, right? That's what Duet runs. I ran Duet like once. I have a Duet in this printer, but it runs Clipper. But yeah, so it's just the different flavors of what runs, and Marlin being the most known and the largest one. It is difficult to use that, in my opinion, for like a first-time user. Clipper's a little bit codey, but the fact that you can edit it live on your machine is great. So if I want to make changes, I want something to go faster, I want it to home slower, I want to change the home position, I want to do any type of changes to the printer, you can do that in Clipper pretty doggone quickly. You want to do that in Marlin, it's not as easy. The way that it's written, it is easier to read because they put a lot of like help me things in there, so you kind of read what each of the settings do for the most part. But there are so many different settings in there to change, and they are so many different places, because there's really two main large files that tell your printer what to do, where Clipper, it's one file, and it's as long as you really make it, because you can add so much in or just use what's stock, basically. But if I want to make a change in Marlin, I have to make the change in the code editing software. So it's like either Arduino, or the newer one is like Atom. And I need to compile that code, and then hopefully the compiling works, and then transfer that file to the printer to then flash. And then depending on the type of printer you have, it'll change on how you do the flashing. Which is basically, you put the file on there, you turn the machine off, you put it in, you turn the machine back on, and the firmware is active. So like it's easy to do it, but it's just knowing how to edit the firmware is the sticking point for Marlin. Really for any of them, but then again, if you are a casual 3D printer and you've picked up a Prusa to just start printing things, you don't care, nor are you even worried about firmware. And that is also my kind of issue, is that the Prusa just works, and that's why it is so popular. That's why it is the best-selling 3D printer ever. Like, I don't really know. I guess the Ender probably sold more of it, but like for a just get it and print it printer, the Prusa is the only one out there that does it. Now, granted, yes, nowadays you do have the Bamboos, which is a whole new ball game on them. So they clearly are learning from Prusa's success, but they do have the benefit of being a Chinese company in China and being able to push out millions of printers in the time that Prusa puts out a few 100,000. Like, they can just do so much more in China because parts are cheap, because all the parts are made there for the most part. Labor is excruciatingly cheap. Those factory workers make really no money, and there's so many people there. Like, having a factory of, assembly lines of dozens of hundreds of people is nothing for China. In the Czech Republic, different story, it's a lot more expensive there. They pay their people living wages. They don't care in China. So I left the Prusa firmware on my Mini. It just doesn't do it. Yeah, don't do anything with the Mini. I did, Aaron, though. I did upgrade my Mini with the newest firmware. I did that a few weeks ago. I think somebody told me in the Discord to do that because I can now change you can change the E-steps. And funny enough, it grabbed the E-steps from the G code that I had on the SD card and made that the E-steps for it. I did not have to adjust it from the Prusa default. And it worked great. I did a couple prints on it to do some tests, and it's been great so far. I want to print some more with it, but I'm really trying to think like what printers I'm going to end up keeping. And honestly, it's really hard. It's like trying to pick a favorite child. It's really hard to figure out what printers I want to keep, just because, I mean, granted, it always depends which ones works the best. Like, obviously, I'm going to keep my Prusa unless someone wants to give me a decent, cut for it. Then I'm happy to sell that one up. But that one's probably also the easiest one to sell here, so I might end up selling that one. The Mini as well. Like, I like the Mini, but it might end up being just an easier one to sell because you just use it, and if you need help, you just go to Prusa's website. I really want to keep Optimus because that has the Hermes on it, or the Hemera. Sorry, the Hemera is the new name for it. And the Hemera just prints so freaking nicely, and that printer prints so well, and I can print any material on it. It's got a steel nozzle, direct drive, flexible filaments just go on it fast. I print like 60 or 70 millimeters a second with flexible on that printer. So I can print anything on it. And then I've got my Gucci printer. So I've got Hound here, which is really nice again. So it's a Bear 2.1, I think is what it is. And then Nemesis up here is a Bear 2.0, which I think I fixed everything on it. I haven't printed on it in the past couple months, but I need to do some more testing just to make sure it all works. But then like Megatron, I think, selling out, I could just on my Prusa clone, I could just throw Prusa firmware on there and take out the Pi Zero, and then there's another just drive and print printer, make it a little bit easier to sell, I think. And then that leaves obviously the V0 I'm going to keep. I've got the BLV. I'll end up probably keeping that just because it's so big. No one's going to want a printer that big. So I'll probably end up keeping that one. The FT5, still don't know what to do about that guy. I may end up just having to give that one away to the Makerspace here, because I'm not going to charge the Makerspace money. I mean, they do so much stuff for the community around here. I would feel bad taking money from them. So I would probably end up donating that one. The Legacy, I need to print some more on it. I haven't printed much on it lately, honestly. Ultra Magnus would go. The IDEX machine, I probably would keep that one just because it's nice to have a dual printing. I'd like to sell the palette, just because I see how the AMS is doing. Sorry, there's a mosquito here, and I don't want to get bit. It is rainy season here now. Where did he go? Doggone it. I would probably sell the palette just because I wouldn't mind selling that and putting the money towards a Bamboo with an AMS, just because I see how well the AMS honestly works. Yeah, it does have its kinks here and there, but overall, I mean, it prints pretty doggone well. I think it's also because the filament path is pretty straight on the AMS, and the issue with the palette is the filament path curves quite a bit, and if you have older PLA, it just breaks in there, and I have a very hard time printing PLA with that machine. Now, if I put PETG in it, like when I printed all the dual extrusion stuff for any of the custom printers I've done, it printed really, really well. PETG had zero issue because PETG doesn't really break anytime it's on a spool. So I don't know where that mosquito went, but I'm just, I don't always print PETG. I print PLA most of the time. And I just think that I might have more success having a P1S, so getting a cheaper one of them, because I don't think I would get the A1. I would probably get the P1S or the P1P, because I think it's cheaper to get the P1P than it is to get the P1S and then upgrade it. So that wouldn't be too bad. And or the P1S, getting the P1S and upgrading the P1P to the P1S. Sorry, that's what I meant. And then just getting 1 or 2 of the AMSs and do 4 or 8 colors. Like, that's really cool. And it takes up a fraction of the space compared to all the other printers, you know. But that's kind of what I've really worked my channel up to, is building a lot of these machines, especially during COVID, like building all these machines, designing them with Aaron and things like that. Aaron said the new AMS from Anex Engineering called the Tard Rack is what I'm waiting for. Trad Rack. Let me look here. Oh, it looks like a, what's it called? The carrot feeder, or Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder, whatever it's called. It's kind of what it looks like. It's on a GitHub. Huh, I'll have to look more into this, but it looks interesting. And it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 filaments, 8 filaments by default, looks like. It's funny, so Trad Rack is also for climbing. So it's kind of funny how there's like 2 pictures and videos for this filament changer, and then the rest are for climbing. That's kind of funny. Lost my YouTube. There it is. Van Gogh. That's probably not how you spell your name. Hello from South Africa. Hello to South Africa. How you doing? Yeah, I saw the video for the beta unit. I'll have to check that out at some point. Oh, these mountaineering terms and all their names. Okay, I get that. It's just funny that they do that, because other things come up when you search it. Kind of like how I do transfer names for everything. But yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of figuring out what I want to do with that, and then whatever I don't sell, I'll end up probably just having to donate, because I need to bring weight down and I need to ship less, is what it comes down to. So I need to have less printers. I don't use them all now anyways. Won the Rugby World Cup. Well, congratulations on your win. Happy to hear that. I'm sure everyone's going crazy down at the bars in South Africa right now. Joburg and Cape Town, Pretoria, everyone's having a good time, I bet. So yeah, again, just kind of things I'm thinking about. If anybody has any ideas how to make them appealing, shipping any of these is really not an option, because it would be at least $100 in shipping. They would have to reassemble it themselves, because I would have to take off the entire upright of the gantry, probably take off the X-axis, and then disconnect all of those motors and everything, and then let them, hopefully they can just reassemble it. And hope it makes it there without being absolutely destroyed by the mail system, because being able to ship these in a decent-ish way would cost at least $100 to $150. And then if I'm only going to be, I'd only be asking probably between $300, and probably asking between $300 and $400. So if you're looking at $500 for a printer, for a used one, is someone really going to buy that? Probably not. So it's kind of the one thing, is that printers' resale value is absolutely dog crap. So True Tech, you got an early bird price on a RevoPoint Micro. Miraco? Did you just misspell micro? Or it's Miraco? Either way, RevoPoint, isn't that the scanner? Isn't that the 3D scanner? Yeah. Because I have, this is a video I still haven't done yet. Rebo Point. This is the, I don't know what this one is. I literally have not even opened the tape on it. They sent me this a couple months ago, and I have not had the desire to tear into it yet. Yeah, Miraco. Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, I don't know which one this one is, but it's here on the shelf of things I need to review, to include this guy. I got the No Clogger. They sent me one. Excuse me. 1 second here. All right, sorry about that. I actually use this because the V0 is a little clogged, I think. I ended up using it. It works out well. It's just a steel picker with a super sharp tip on it that's able to fit to the, and it's shaped exactly to the inside of the nozzle to be able to push out everything that's in there. And it also comes with a little like thing on there, so if you're pushing down and you pull up and this didn't move, well then you know it didn't go anywhere. But then if it ends up going like that, oh, it did actually go all the way down and I got it out. So very simple little thing, super small company making these. It's 3D printed handle. You 3D printed this, you 3D print the tip yourself, which I thought it should have came with, but it doesn't. They try to keep costs down, so I get that. But I actually had to use this for the first time on the V0, and it worked great. It was way easier than using, I have a, where is it? I have an old thing, yes, this guy here. So I have this plunger that came with the Anycubic, what was it? This is not the Anycubic Zero? i3 Mega, the Anycubic i3 Mega, that's what it was. And I have been using this thing for 7 years now, but it never gets that last little bit out of the nozzle because it's squared off, so it kind of stops. But with that guy, it can push all the way down out the end of the nozzle, which is really nice. So it's definitely better than this, but I've been using this guy for years. Adam's here, Nathan's here. What's up, everybody? We're scanning car parts. So only one close long range. Isn't that micro, like the micro, that isn't that one like real expensive? Because they had offered me 2, but like the one of the new ones wasn't in, so they sent me that one instead. Aaron, I have another one here from a while ago somewhere. I could probably just give you. It wasn't great. I never really got it to work well. I was trying to do, when I got that, I was like, man, this is like really, really hard to use. And like, I was trying to scan like my head or like my wife's head. And I was like, you know what? You can do it with your computer. So I have the, I picked up for like, I don't know, $5 off of eBay, a 360 camera, 3D printed a little handle for it. And there is a USB connection that you can plug this into, because this is a weird, almost like FireWire type of connection into your computer, and then you can use a program on there to just scan whatever it is you're doing. And I got decent results with this, but I ended up getting sidetracked and wasn't able to actually finish testing. So I kind of want to compare this to that new scanner, because I want to be able to scan my head. So when I want to print a helmet, I can put the helmet over top of my head and see that it fits. That's what I want to be able to do. But yeah, it is so-so results. Neither of them were great. And that's kind of like the upsetting part, is like at-home scanning is still a little ways out. You know, I mean, again, maybe it'll be different with this newer one that they sent me. Maybe I'll get reinvigorated to mess with it when we get closer to the holidays. But it's tough that like you really can't get anything good for less than like a couple grand. Like they have some of those ones They're like what, $3,000 or $4,000, and it does like the double laser deal, and like they're super accurate. It kind of looks like I think they're ones that kind of look like a big old cell phone. You hold the back, and there's another one that's more pointed, but the ones like that, and yeah, it's just like crazy. Use an iPhone. I don't have an iPhone to use, Adam. I forbid myself from going to the dark side. Um, a Crowdy CR01. Never heard of that one. Yeah, the photogrammetry. I think the big ones do photogrammetry as well. Um, yeah, I have. So here's the iPhone I have, Adam, is an iPhone 6 that I use to manage my kids' iPads and all of their accounts. That is what I have an iPhone for, and it is absolutely ancient. Absolutely ancient. I think this one actually might have been my wife's, but I only use this to manage their accounts. MakerMind Nexus. Hello and welcome to the stream. Oh, it's Dan. How you doing, Dan? Dan's got a new name. Wonder why. But anyways, yeah, I just need to get like some time to just set aside and dig into the software of what it is I'm trying to do and just really spend a couple evenings. But that's also the hard part, is like, I shouldn't have to spend multiple evenings trying to get something to work properly. I really shouldn't. It should just work if they're trying to sell a consumer product, and that's the biggest thing with what's it called, like a Creality. Like, does it work? Yeah, ish, most of the time, but normally you have to mess with them to get them to print well. Most of the time they'll print off the shelf, most of the time, but they do take a lot of tinkering a lot of time as well, or they just fail because they're no QC on them and everyone knows that. Thank you, Aaron. Airbrushing is going okay. I haven't done it in the past probably month. I did some more testing a little while ago, or it's maybe a little more than a month. But last month I got a new nozzle in a 0.5 millimeter, and to be able to print with some of the other paints that I have, because they recommend a 0.5 millimeter nozzle, and I was like, I'll use the 0.35 that I have. It didn't go so well. I clogged it quite good. So I want to try that, and again, I just haven't put the time into it. I got the new tank, or in the new compressor with the tank on it. Did some just quick tests with it. It seems to work all great. I just need to make some time to do it. And lately work has been absolutely crushing, and by the last thing I want to do is work at home. I'd rather build some Lego, play some video games. I bought the RoboCop game the other night. It is meh at best. It's kind of like a poor Cyberpunk. It just looked really cool, and it's, I don't know. I need to get more in the story, I guess. I'm like barely through the first major mission on it. It's just not great. But yeah. I will get to more. I still have I said earlier in the stream that I've got the chest there done. I just need to print the internals and make sure they all work properly, and then I can start painting it. I did, when I was back in the US, I did bring up some the filler primer. Not self-etching, filler primer. So I do want to put some filler primer on it and see how much better it looks compared to the previous one that I made that I gave to my brother. This one I'm going to end up probably giving to my oldest daughter for her D&D activities that she's doing nowadays. And then I kind of want to help her do she's getting really good at painting and drawing. She's getting very good at it. And I'm wondering if I should just make my space available for her if she wants to learn how to airbrush. Another avenue of artistry that she could pursue if she wants to. I know everybody says their kids are great artists. The other ones are fine. She's actually pretty good. She just did what did she do the other day? We went for a Halloween party back Halloween, so a week ago, and I went as Bob Ross, my wife went as a happy little tree. So my daughter the night before painted a Bob Ross painting with just whatever we had around. Like, we didn't have all the brushes and all the different things that he uses, but she did a Bob Ross painting, and it is not half bad. It is 1,000 times better than anything I could do. I'm definitely not a painter, but I was absolutely shocked at how good she did with this thing. And it's like, so it's on the wall now. I mean, it's great. But I'm just trying to think of anything else that I should help her do. Sorry, that mosquito was here and now gone. There it is. Wait a second. The mosquito. No, it's gone again. Dang it. I do not want to get bit up in here. Drives me crazy when a mosquito gets in. But yeah, maybe she'll like doing some airbrushing or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Parents are morally obligated to say their kids are great. Yeah, I know, I get it. Actually, it's funny. So speaking of greatness of our kids, so I did the video with Luke, my boy, to make this. The very next day, he goes into the Lego room, and which I call it the Lego room. It's literally a bedroom that we keep all the Lego in. Like, I want to keep it in one place. He made a trailer for this to hook on to his Lego cars. So he just made a little trailer, got wheels for it, like sits in there just nicely. I was like, dude, good job, he's 8. I'm just proud of him doing that. But yeah, so it's just, things we do, and I've been prioritizing the family as much as I can. But last weekend work was just, it was brutal. We did 19 hours one day. That was like, I was so exhausted after that. Which, I mean, we've all done, everybody who's in IT has done those crazy long days. You know what it's like. It's just sometimes just crushing. At the end of the day, you're just like, I am so done with everything. You ever print a Cheriton? No, I have not. I don't know what that is. Oh, I took a lot of things apart as a kid, and there's always something that never worked when I put it back together. I was just trying to fix we got my daughter over the summer. She got the Mario Kart remote controlled car, and it just randomly stopped working. So I took the whole thing apart, and like literally everything looked good. Continuity was good. Voltages were good. I think the board just died. So I was like, all right, well, this is done, because I can't even find a board. You can't find parts for those type of mass-produced toys. But it just kind of sucked that like I couldn't fix that one. They've got a cash register as well that I have fixed dozens of times, and it's done. It's done now. You ever print Christmas gifts? Are they received well? I have printed ornaments for my family. Is that the only gift? No. I normally add that on to whatever it is I'm giving them. I'll just like give them the box or whatever they have, and then I'll, tape onto the label a Christmas ornament for that. But no, I have not ever printed a Christmas gift to give someone as the only gift I give them. But I think everybody in the family has at least one ornament from me. I also don't know what I would make them. Like my mom, I made her the wreath. I think my sister wants a wreath. I might need to order some more green filament. And whenever she comes to visit, I know she's going to bring stuff for the kids. I could have her take that back. I don't think I made her a wreath. But that was the giant the 500% Christmas wreath. A box of printed curved Lego blocks. No, I mean, I've printed a few kind of Lego type things, but never really kind of went anywhere with it. It was a fun experiment, but that's it. Some printed tools. Printed tools would be good, but they're not. The thing with 3D printing is it's not robust. It's not durable at all. So like most of the things you're going to print are not durable. I mean, I've printed games and things for them. Like I've got Tippy Tree sitting here. I was still trying to think about one other game to print, but I might just do the video on those two. Tippy Tree's pretty cool. It's fun. The kids like it. I'm gonna end up moving it out of the office because we just get it out of here, but I'm gonna end up moving it out of the office, putting it on the game shelf, to be able to, they want to play with it whenever they want to, which will be great. Yeah, it's, again, I would give it as something on top of whatever it is I'm giving them. Tippy Tetris game. Yeah, that's the one that I printed that one, Aaron. It's the one on the little balancing thing. Yeah, I've got that one printed. It's on the other box there. It's sitting right there. The only print ABS. No, I mean, it's not even like, I mean, again, if you print your kid a shovel, it's going to break. If you print them a little hammer, it's going to break. Like, I mean, I did the nameplates for my kids. Oh shit, that's stuck. This one's broken. I need to fix this because the E fell off. But like, yes, I would print this and give it to them, put it on like their pile or whatever, or put them in the tree and then they can hang it on their room. So all my kids have custom made name signs on all their doors, which is fun. Someone's got Paw Patrol, Luke's got a train, Chloe's a mermaid, Reese is a Reese cup because her name's Reese, like why not? Emma's is a red panda. Maddie's is Paw Patrol. So like they all have their little thing, and it's very expressive of them. But it was just something that I did for them. Hi, Daniel. How you doing? You could. I tend to stay away from the 3D printed pew-pews and anything like that. It's also super illegal where I live, so I mean any weapon is illegal here. So that's also the other thing. When you're back in the land of the free, home of the brave, you can do a lot of things, but overseas you cannot do those things, or it is straight to jail. Yeah, so definitely I don't do any of that, nor do I really condone it, because I don't care how strong you think something is, it will fail. When you print something additively, it will fail. Injection molding is so much stronger. I mean, heck, look at 3D printing Lego. You could 3D print some and use the same ones, and the 3D printed ones will fail 100% before the injection molded ones will. It's just a fact of the material and technology. Unless you're 3D printing metal, which is a different story, but none of us really have a $100,000 machine in our house. Speaking of injection molded, I found an Instagram account that was pretty cool. They 3D print things, and then all of their failed prints and their support material, they grind up, and then they end up they melt it down, put it into a giant extruder. It's got like a big wheel on it, and that heats it in a tube, and then they squirt that into injection molds, and they make things like buttons, and they made little just injection molded springy carabiners. It was super cool to see how they were making their failed prints and their support work towards their income. Like the buttons, I think it was like 10 or 50 at a time that you buy for like a couple bucks, because it's all scrap for them. Like it's leftover whatever they had, and they're able to just upcycle that to create more revenue. And it's cool because they put a bunch of different colors together, like black and blue, and like you kind of see like the swirling in the different things that they extrude, they are what's it called? They are injection molding them because they have a couple molds made, and they just heat it up in the oven, set it down, squirt this stuff in, it cools down in a few minutes, open it up, pop out the parts, and done. So it was just really cool to see them being able to do that and make a little bit more money, and again, upcycle things that would honestly otherwise just be discarded. So, and it was literally like the mold they had, they probably just had somebody cut it on a CNC, you know, into what they wanted to be. After they 3D modeled it, probably 3D printed it because the 3D printing company liked it, sent it off to a CNC workshop. They did it for them because it's held together with a couple bolts. You know, they just tighten those on, and it's just got the nozzles able to fit in there. They are using it's a drill press is what they end up using to use that, and they've modified that to make their own giant extruder for it. It's very, again, it was very, very cool to see someone doing that. And again, of course, they're like this tiny channel on Instagram. Like, man, like it'd be really cool. More people could see what you're doing here because it's kind of cool. I would definitely buy buttons from them. Might do that one day. If I end up getting custom shirts made again, just have custom buttons on it. That might be kind of cool. But again, have to see what like the, but if you're buying so many, if one breaks, it breaks. Just put another one on. Kind of see how that goes. Plain beanbag chair with plasticine. Oh yeah, I could do that. But yeah, again, so it's just kind of the cool things you find when you're scrolling Instagram at night and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let me see what else you do. And then they do that. Well, I clearly did not end up modeling this little thing. I am honestly dreading it. I modeled this once and I'm just so upset with myself that I had not, that I somehow didn't save it. Because I literally opened up Fusion and I was like, where in the world is it? Like scrolled through everything and I made sure I was sorting by the most recent, and I don't know what happened, and I'm just mad that it didn't take long to model, but it's just this absolutely tiny little part. And I'm going to print it in ABS. I've got ABS still loaded here in the V0, so I'll print it in ABS, but I just need to really figure out, even once I print it, is it really even going to hold? I think it will for a little while. But like, what else could I do? Like I had a wooden stick here. Like I could carve it out of that wooden stick. I'm like, no, it's just going to splinter because it's, you know, crappy little wood dowel. The dowel was wider than this thing is, so it definitely could have been done, but would have been tight. Would it hold its form? It's just hard to really tell how that would work out. You know, so again, injection molded would be great for this thing, and it is injection molded. And that's why it is such a durable part. Just after a while, it finally breaks. But yeah, so maybe I'll work on that. I was thinking about getting down Master Crane, and just firing it up and seeing how I look at it 2 years later at how that printer looks. Anybody doesn't know what Master Crane is, Master Crane is the 3D printer that I designed during we did a 3D printed design challenge, 3D printer design challenge back during COVID. And it was a fun little project. Aaron ended up winning that one, but Aaron designed and made his printer. He actually created it. I designed and created my printer. And a couple people do designs as well. It was a fun little project. It was a little cantilever machine. I mean, literally, it's still here in its plastic wrap from my move. Oh geez, there's the fan. It's still in plastic wrap. Have not opened it in 2 years. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with it, if it's even going to work still. But I was debating on maybe doing that one night for a stream, just to pull that guy out and see what happens. Almost completely 3D printed. It's using, I think, 2 or 3 pieces of 2040 and 2020 extrusion. But yeah, it's, we'll see if it works. I don't know. We'll try it out one day. Ask AI to produce some future steampunk version of guitars, etc. I want to make images. That would be cool. If AI can offer STL files or step files or any type of CAD file, honestly, That would be interesting to see how that would work, because I'd wonder if it would be manifold and all that jazz. Maybe it'll get there one day. Maybe it will be a thing that we have AI to produce us some models. Then you just ask it for anything. Maybe. Oh yeah, Aaron, I have no doubt it'll get there, honestly. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot. My dad needs more of these plastic hooks. I need to either design or just go scan these in and scale them in CAD. And I just need to print some more of these out of ABS for him. A little bit thicker though. It's for his turkey blind. I need to also do that. So again, just things that are sitting on my desk. I'm like, I'm looking at it. I need to do that, and I haven't done it yet. So again, one day I will make time to do all the things that I want to do that I have not been doing in the past. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. Again, I've got my to-do list of things. We'll see how forgiving the week is and how motivated I stay to do some of these things. But it was a success finally getting dual stream to work. I had to end up switching OBS to stream to Twitch primarily, and then adding in the output also to YouTube. I tried it first doing YouTube, then to Twitch. That didn't work. So I have a way forward. Excuse me, this seems to be working well. I just need to find a better way to view both of the chats at once. The most difficult part of recycling filaments having... Yeah, so that's true, Daniel. So what I was saying before is they are not recycling it back into filament. They are recycling it into particles and then melting it down in a like a 3 millimeter or 2 mil. It's at least 3 millimeter nozzle, and pushing that into an injection mold, into a mold, making injection molding. And again, that's what they were doing for all of their failed prints or their support material from their business. Yeah, I was looking at that video you sent me, Aaron, and again, I was lucky enough to get this far to get OBS set up. I do have that installed actually here. I should try to open it real quick. I think it was just executable. That's what it was. Anyways, I think that'll be next week. That'll be next week's. Right now, I got this part going. I feel accomplished. As a crappy of a YouTuber and techie that I am, when it comes to influencing things, I'm okay with this right now. All right, guys. I think that's it, and gals. If there's any gals out there, probably not. No one watches me. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I'm glad to see a bunch of people being very engaged today in the stream. I really do enjoy that. So thank you all for coming in. I will probably be streaming Sunday again next week because we're going to be going camping Saturday night with Scouts. So I will probably be on again a week from today. And hopefully I will have 3D printed something, or we'll work on the V0, or pull up Master Crane. We'll do something crazy. I don't know. Thank you all for joining in. And yeah, happy printing, everybody. I'll see y'all next time.